All right, this week we are going to learn a different box, a way cooler box than the last. Well, the last one was just a square box. And although a square box is cool and really useful, this box is actually a lot cooler in my mind. This is a star box. It is so cool. I mean, you can do so many things with the star box. I mean, you can put jewelry in it if you're a girl. You could put a Bakugan in there, or you could put anything in here and just have it look cool because it's a star box. I mean, it's just really, really neat. So this week, we are going to make this out of the color pink. I love pink. Pink is actually a really cool color. Let's learn how to make our star box out of a pink piece of paper. Well, you can make it out of it. The color doesn't make it any different, but anyways, here we go. Like every other piece, let's put the color side down. Put the white side up. If you're using just a regular blank piece of paper, it doesn't matter a bit which side goes down. Now, today we're going to learn a very important part of very many pieces of origami. It's called the square base. A base is like it's kind of like the foundation of a lot of different pieces of origami. So once you learn this, you've learned half the steps of a lot of different pieces of origami, because a lot of them you'll find start the same. Well, this one starts the same as a lot of other pieces. So to make the square base, you start with a triangle. And for future reference, if you start with a square, you then make the rectangle base. But anyways, okay, so to make the square base, we start with a triangle. Fold these two pieces together, bring the tips together, hold it in place with your left hand, and flatten it. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing again. Fold it in half again to a smaller triangle. Try and get those two tips as close together as you can so that it makes a nice triangle. When you do this part, those two tips should be pretty darn close together, and that edge should be flat. I left a little bit. I didn't do it so good, but that's pretty good. Anyways, so here we go. We folded it up, folded it in half, and I'm going to do it one more time. And this is just a fold to help us with the next one. Get it as close as you can there. Flatten it. Okay. All right. So I've gone down 3 times into the triangle. Open it up. And here we go. It's going to look just like this. I'm going to hold this with one hand here. Open that up if that's the side you chose first. And see what I'm doing there? I'm not letting this part move very much. I'm sticking my fingers in there right down to the very tip, getting it all opened up nice and flat. And I'm just going to bring this top and squish it down. And it should fall right into place because of the folds that we had already made. Okay, there's half of our square base. Turn it over. And I'm going to bring it up right into the middle there, kind of so it hinges on those folds that we had made. Okay? Can you see that? Our other half of the square is down there at the bottom, and this is right up in the middle. I'm going to do the same thing, but probably want to keep my fingers there to keep that from moving. I'm opening this up, getting my finger down there to the very tip, opening everything up. I'm going to put my fingers on the inside now as I take the top and squish it down. Bring that top to the other points here, kind of work with it so that the folds fall right into place. There. That is called the square base. And in the origami world, that's actually the proper term for this is the square base. If you open it up a little, just so you can tell if you did it right, you'll see 4 tips there coming together at the bottom. Can you kind of see what it should look like? That's the square base. All right, next step. This is the square base, and you'll notice there's a lot of pieces of origami that start with the square base. So if you look online for other types of origami and they say do the square base, this is the square base. All right, next step, moving towards our awesome cool star box. All right, this flap right here, or this edge right here, is going to fold right to the middle. We already have a line there, so it'll be pretty easy. Okay, looks like this. Notice how I'm kind of holding this thumb right here to give it the point where it's going to be a tip or hinge, whatever you want to call it. Bring that in, make it nice and even with that, right along that line there. Flatten it out. I like to use my fingernail to give it a good edge. Okay, let's do the other side. Bring it in there, kind of guiding it with that finger down there, making sure it's meeting up nice. Okay, all right, so that's what that part looks like. Let's do it on the other side. Flip it over, lay it down. Same thing. Get that right along the edge there. Same thing on the other side. Okay, not too difficult. Well, the next step, we're going to make another pre-fold here, is to fold this top half down right to the edge of that paper right there. So just fold it down till you feel it. You'll feel it kind of stop against there. I'm kind of pulling it down until it touches that paper, and then flattening it. Okay, so if you did it right, notice it folds right up to the edge of that there. It's not off or anything. We're making it. It's a nice, good-looking, handsome triangle. Open it back up. All right. The next step is a little bit tricky, but I think you can do it. Okay. These 4 flaps that we have here, you see those 4 flaps? We got to do something with those. We've got to make them into these. So we're going to open that up. Watch me get my thumb in here and start flattening that out. Getting it right up in there. And you see this line here at the top? It's going to meet up with the line down there below. See me get that right on there? And I flatten it out till it looks like this. All right, let's do that to the other half on this side. I'm opening it up, getting my finger down in there, working with it so that it opens up all the way to the top there. Bring that line down till the lines match up nice and even like. Flatten it out. And look at that. Getting closer and closer to the star box. Flip it over. Okay, same thing over here. Get that finger in there, work with it. See, you don't want anything like that. That just looks terrible. You don't want anything like that. Let's open that up, work with it, get it to open up right. Match up the lines. Flatten it with your finger. We got one left over here. Okay. Get that finger in there, flatten it out, make it look nice. Sometimes it's a little bit stubborn. Matching up those lines. Sorry if my fat thumbs are kind of getting in the way there. Okay. So there we have. We're just a couple steps away from our star box. Okay. I'm going to fold these into the middle like that. And do it on the other side. Okay. And then after I do that, I'm just going to, there's already a fold there, so it won't be too difficult. I'm just folding these in, just doing a reverse fold. Taking that, folding it in, taking this, folding it in. Oh, we're so close to the star box. Let me do that again, just so, I just want to make sure you're comfortable with that. Okay, I'm backing up. This is the reverse sound. Okay, we had this, and all I did was, maybe I'll do it on here so you can see a little bit better. I'm just bringing these two edges up together. Okay, turning it over, bringing these two edges up together. We just sort of turned it inside out a little bit. Okay, these should just fall right into place, fold right along the lines that are already there. Okay, there we go. Now, let's start moving this into our star box. Okay, we should have there are 4 tips up here. Those are the 4 sides of our star box. Okay, so take number 1, fold it down like that. Make sure this line lines up all the way down to the tip of the box. There should be another line there. Let's make that line up so that it's a nice, good looking box. Turn it over. Let's do the other side. Bring that down, and you can feel where it's going to stop there, because it's going to stop right at where you see the color start. Okay, let's make that line up. Okay, now we're going to do it's kind of the same thing that we did just a couple minutes ago. I'm going to sort of, let's see how, I'm going to take these sides here and turn it around so that now these 2 tips are exposed the broad way, and I'm going to fold them down. Okay? Just like that. Okay. Now we just need to open up our box. Now this is a little bit tricky. You're going to have to be like octopus hands to keep it all together while you're opening it up. So you might, I'm just saying, you might get a little bit frustrated with this while you're opening it up. You got to get all those up and sort of work with it with your fingers. I'm sticking my finger in here and sort of pushing it out along that fold there that we made at the base. So you can see I'm even struggling with it a little bit. But you know what? My 9-year-old girl loves to make these, and she does them all the time. It took her a little bit to learn it, but she can do it without my help at all. And it's not too difficult. Just kind of working with the base, getting it out nice and pretty. And there we go. A super awesome, cool star box. And again, my little 9-year-old girl, she's really good at making these, and she, you know, be a little tricky at first. Don't get discouraged if you can't do it, or if it looks like an octopus crinkled up in paper instead of a star box or whatever. You know, just keep practicing it. Rewind me and watch the video over again and do it a couple times. I think you'll get it. It's a fun one to make, the star box. Starbucks buddies.